one big story that we had was Joe fucking Mixon, who's one of the
Well,
thuggles.
anyways, I started blasting.
Yeah, I was one of the thuggles. Like the Bengals have a bad reputation for just being like a thug ass team, and we thought we got over that. But Joe Mixon has punched girls in the face, pulled guns on people in Buffalo, and now taking shots at high school students in fucking playing an airsoft war in fucking in Anderson Township. So
He wasn't in town when that
He
happened.
wasn't the one shooting.
Yeah, he was. He's not in town right now.
oh, he's not.
Yeah, he's in Cap.
No, he's in Oakland where he lives off season.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It was one of his
It was
dudes that was
his
staying there.
boyfriend's something like that.
Yeah, it was somebody that was staying there that did it. I have a friend. I have a friend who I do business with who lives right down the street from him.
really.
Yeah.
See, that
Lives
I
in
did
the
not
same
know.
development. Yeah.
That I did not know. I guess the memes
Dude,
got me
the
on that
reporting on it was so shitty. Like I've never seen a worse covered story in my fucking life.
one. It
Right.
was.
It seemed like they were waiting to see if the kid lived to be like, okay, it wasn't Joe Mixon.
Right.
Like it was
Yeah.
so weird. Like
That was
like,
terrible.
As local people, like this is 30 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah,
You
I
know
do
what I
work
mean?
in
Like-
Anderson Township.
If the
You can't,
kid
like,
dies,
as-
we should get a running back in the draft. If he doesn't die, go ahead and resign and like readjust his contract. Like, good lord.
Right.
it's
I
fucking
mean,
wild.
well, at this point in time, like, it's starting to show that he has some fucking off-field antics that are
He's just-
not welcome, and his friends are fucking
I was gonna
fucking
say,
shit
it's-
up.
it's
Because
like the
there's no
Pac-Man
reason.
effect.
There's
It
no
was a rat.
reason in Anderson Township, fucking where
Yeah.
Joe Mixon lives, that someone needs to be taking shots at a fucking bunch of high schoolers playing an airsoft war. Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of that neighborhood, but that's $1 million neighborhood.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All day
So that he has he's got like a small little football field set up back there so we can practice. He's got tennis courts, basketball court, all that good stuff back there. And the kids were playing,
Actually,
Nerf
no,
or whatever the hell it was, and it was like right back in that area, and that's why they just started. It's like, dude, like
So
let's
anyway, I started
shooting.
blasting.
Yeah, hey, let's just start shooting people, and it's cool.
Like, here's the other thing,
we're
bro.
we're
Like,
at Joe
I'm-
Mixon's house. Let's just start pumping around.
Yeah, like you got that much property and you don't have motion lights back there.
Yeah, like it's
some
just
weird
that
shit.
you
Like,
get
it's
cameras to
a
see
little
if you have
oversight.
little kids. Yeah, no kidding. But
It's
either
like these
way,
dudes that get busted for drunk driving. It's like you're a millionaire.
yeah.
Like what are we doing?
Uber.
Uber.
Shit. You could buy Uber,
Pay a guy $50,000 a year to just take your charges.
right?
Just like you know what I mean? Like literally, I don't know how how they get into drunk driving accidents and tickets and all that.
Well, when you got a fucking nice ass car and you're drunk, you're just feeling yourself. I'm not going to sit
Yeah.
here and lie. There's
I
been a
wouldn't
couple
even buy-
times where I'm
I
like, you
wouldn't
know what?
even
I'm
buy.
drunk. It's going to be fun driving.
Yeah, I'd
wouldn't
rather have a driver that has a window that goes up if I got a girl in the back seat. Like, come on, man, plan that. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
but anyway, Mixon's out in
excuse me.
Oakland apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, but let's talk about what that means for the Bengals because he was already on the chopping block this year. A lot of people, of fans around Cincinnati, have kind of been calling for Mixon's head for a while now, and it is somewhat justifiable because he's not just like getting the yards that he used to. It is starting to be the end of the Mixon era. Even if we do keep him on contract for the year that he is signed for, I don't see him coming back the year after that. But I think with all this going down, it just might be like time to part ways. And, we got P. Ryan in the back, so I think that we're set there. We got a couple people on the bench, but, we were talking about potentially getting fucking Henry. And, I mean, how do you guys
Monetarily,
feel
That would
Monetarily,
be
about that?
terrible. That would be a terrible idea
Why so?
in what way?
because running backs are like a shelf life of so only so many years, and you've got bigger fish that you need to pay than bringing in Derrick Henry. Okay, if you have the ability to develop or at least have some other running we're a passing offense. We have Joe Burrow. We've got two of the best wide receivers in the game and one of the best wide receiving cores, and you want to bring in Derrick Henry to do what?
What was our main takeaway from the AFC Championship game?
I know that we couldn't run the ball. I get it, but that
And-
also goes to show that
But
the
we also-
defensive strategy
Derrick
We
that.
Henry-
also
Derrick
didn't
Henry is
run the ball.
cheaper than Joe Mixon.
Listen,
But he's
we-
going to want a lot of
listen,
money. That's going to take
listen.
away a lot of money
Not
from
a
being
free
able
agent.
to pay.
It's a trade.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, not a lot of money.
We
A
actually
lot of
saved
assets that we could have for our future.
We also saved $2 million if we were to trade Mixon for Chris Henry. Now, a lot of the things that I've
Derrick
seen...
Henry. You said Chris
my
Henry.
bad. My
Rest
bad.
in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. The one thing that a lot of people are saying that he wouldn't be a good pick is because apparently he struggles with run blocking, and that's something that fucking we have already struggled with. But
why
I
you
mean,
drafted
when it
him.
comes down to it, I don't see Henry wanting to come to the Bengals because, like you said, we are not a run-oriented team. The reason why we didn't run the ball on fucking Kansas City is because we didn't run the ball. We didn't hand the ball to our fucking running backs. What's the point in bringing someone like Derrick Henry here who's not going to be a good run blocker and fucking not going to be able to run the ball because we're not handing the ball to him?
He's 29 years old too.
Yeah. Well, the thing
He's a year
Derrick
after the prime of a.
we'd bring him.
He's on his downslope.
We'd bring him in, fucking have him run for a year or two, and then
Yes, you're not going to have to pay him.
draft a running back or use one of the fucking running backs we got on the bench to play under him, maybe get some reps in, and kind of groom them. So I think that would be the plan if we were to get Derrick Henry. So
The thing is, it's not like the Titans have had astounding offensive lines. Like Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. At the end of the day, like you're talking generational running, like freak of nature running back. So to me, like the Bengals save $7 million if they cut Joe Mixon. Not saying that they're gonna go get Derrick Henry, but like if you're gonna save $2 million to get Derrick Henry with a guy who statistically gets better as the game goes on and has been vocal about hard-nosed football late in the season, which is what the Bengals are vocal about, being they pride themselves on how hard-nosed football they play late in the season. And a running back last year sets us over. Like the offensive line, yes. But the thing is, if you can get the defense to respect your run game, they're not going to send as many people in the pass as it is.
We're not going to double chase.
It'll open up the passing game for
Exactly.
sure. I'm just saying there's not. I mean,
You gotta
that
get
doesn't mean
somebody
you
to
can't.
respect back there.
Okay, but that doesn't mean we can't find somebody. I'm not saying of Derrick Henry's caliber by any means, but at least somebody's that can.
I think we
allow
already got
that
him.
to happen in the. Mixon's a good running back.
I don't think it's Mixon. I think it's Pirine.
I mean,
He's not longevity wise.
he's not. No, he's a good number 2 running back. I think he's a really good number 2 running back. I really do. He's a fantastic number 2.
We need to
running
find
back.
someone else, and from what I've seen this
That
year,
doesn't mean we can't draft a young running back that could be.
Derrick Henry has
we
not
already-
been below 1,000 yards since 2018, and he missed games last year, and he still ended with 1,500.
Right. No, he's insane. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying again, why can't you build within or draft somebody that's going to be young, that's going to be somebody that's going to be here for 7 years,
Here's the
like another Joe Mixon.
You're gonna win now.
Here's the thing about it: we have those. Other running backs.
Hey, we're Super Bowl
Hold
contenders
up.
as long
Hold
as
up.
Joe Burrow's here. He
Hold
said
up.
himself.
Hold up. We already have running backs in our we have. I'm looking at it right now: Trayvon Williams, Chris Evans, fucking, and Elijah Holyfield. Fucking, we have these guys on the bench. They're not seeing the field. So
Yeah,
like,
why?
Yeah,
Not figured it out?
Exactly.
Like
I think that there's something with a running back coach or something like that. They're not fucking able to figure this shit out. So like, we either need to get a guy because right now our focus should be on the offensive line, and that's what we should spend most of the cap. And I don't think we should in free agency. Exactly. I don't think that we should draft. No, but this would be something that with Mixon not being there, and I don't think Mixon is the guy. I think we should get rid of Mixon. If you were to bring in Henry, you might be able to get one of these really good running backs to bring in and stuff like that. But I don't think it's very successful bringing one of those guys in and setting them into the system immediately. I think we need someone who is going to be a running back that they can be under for a year or two. So that's why I think that it would be good.
I want Jamal Williams more than anybody. Like if we're going to get somebody, I want Jamal Williams personally.
No,
But that's just me.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we need to do. Either way, even if we do keep Mixon and have Pirine in the backfield, the running game, I just don't think it's a fucking focal point of our team, so it's not as huge of a deal. And I think that's kind of what Wallet is saying. There's no real reason to go out and get a Derrick Henry like that. We should put our money into assets that will help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Derrick Henry had the best or the worst offensive line, but I mean, if Mixon, our running backs didn't succeed necessarily, and it wasn't necessarily the running back; it was the offensive line that I think had a big part of that.
Well, I think that when we put
and the AFC Championship
when
game.
we actually ran the ball, I think we had success. The Bengals just didn't run the ball.
There you go.
This year. They didn't, and that's
they don't have they trust.
But
I genuinely think that. I don't think that they think that they can trust Joe Mixon for one, and you can't play Samaje every single snap.
Yeah. And that would be a reason to go get Derrick Henry. But at the same time, if YHORS is that oriented towards throwing the ball, it doesn't really make sense to go get Henry.
Correct.
So
exactly.
if we're gonna go out and get him and spend the money for him,
Y'all
fucking
gonna
use
have
him.
to evolve, dude. If teams are gonna keep coming out in cover twos against us, the offense has to evolve. You have to have some kind of run game.
I agree, but that doesn't mean they can't do that without
And it
having
doesn't
a
mean-
Derrick
March
Henry.
Chase is gonna get one-on-one a game from here.
Yes, so if they can show that they either draft or develop a running back to where in the offseason they've got a running game that's going to be an impact, then yes, that's going to happen regardless. That's what they need to do, in my opinion.
But where do you draft a running back at? 'Cause you're not going to get a good one past the second round.
This running back class is deep.
I mean,
real deep. Running backs and
there's always
tight
a class
ends are
that's
real deep.
One decent dude. There's 3 decent dudes out of every class. Like every year, something's deep, and you hear about.
No, I know that. I get it. But that doesn't mean you can't win with a running back in the 3rd or 4th round.
No, you gotta have something. Like you gotta have something. If you're not gonna have,
then at that point I would keep Mixon. Then I would keep Mixon and evolve the running game.
We overpaid for him a couple years ago. That's the
problem.
That
he's got to restructure it.
You're not gonna have a big dog running back that can play every single fucking snap. You got to go with the Chiefs approach where they got 4 fucking running backs all on rookie deals.
Yeah, they got to restructure his deal then. Mixon's gonna have to restructure that deal.
So
that to me was the best case scenario at this point.
So
I think he's done.
I
agree, but I'm just saying, like, if they're, without having to go get a Derrick Henry or somebody like that, their other alternative would be to restructure his deal.
So
I mean, there's more productive running backs out there that cost less than him anyway.
Like you said, I agree with that too. Yeah, Jamal Williams. That would be dope. Yeah. I would be cool with that for sure.
Well, I think right now when we're looking at prospects, because I have heard the running back thing, getting rid of Joe Mixon has been on the exactly. Bijan Robinson from Texas is the top prospect. The problem is I don't think that he's going to be around in the draft long enough for us to actually get him. So it's one
in
of
a
those
perfect
things.
world, like to me, in a perfect world, the Bengals go tight end with their pick.
Yeah.
And to me, I understand the Darnell Washington hype. He had a great combine. I get it. He's a freak of nature. To me, I want Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. He's the most complete tight end prospect to me. He has a lot of Travis Kelce in him. He's one of those guys that if you can just get him to chip right before he's running his routes, just like, to give Joe an extra half second.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's the most complete tight end, and that's in my eyes what I want.
The reason why I like Washington is because the scene where he was moving the fucking what's it called, the sled, when he was moving that, he was just moving it better than anybody else on the fucking tight end.
Yeah, well,
the only reason I say that is that opens up our run game a lot more if we were to do that, and that's why I like him. But I agree with you on the fucking don't let the combine height be the thing that selects him. So
yeah, I agree with you, Stolzy. Go with a complete package, somebody that you can plug and play almost right away.
Now.
Yes,
and
exactly.
even
we don't need
Hayden Hurst.
You don't want to take a tight end in the 3rd or 4th round that you have to develop. What's the point?
Well,
yes.
Even that with Uzama.
Even if we do that, I do think we should re-sign Hurst. I like Hurst a lot.
Oh, Hurst 100%.
For sure.
He'll be expensive.
Yeah. Can you imagine 2 tight ends?
And that's, dude, I've been saying that for so long. Like,
that's another offensive line right there.
Yeah, and just like last year, I was begging for the Bengals to line up in an I formation with Hayden Hurst at fullback on the goal line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm like, let him run through somebody.
Yeah, dude, he'll run through some people.
What tight ends are for? They're that flex position to just do whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. You need a blocker. You need a receiver. You need a fucking fullback. Just do it.
It's just starting to get more finessey because of Travis Kelce. And if you watch Michael Mayer's tape, there's a lot of Travis Kelce in him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The thing about Travis Kelce is he's not fucking a tight end. I know that's his position, but he's a receiver. Like, let's be real.
Well, he grew up a quarterback. He was a UC. He was a quarterback. Like, he knows offense. Like, at the end of the day.
He's a great tight end. He's got that brute strength. Yeah, he's got a great tight. He's a great tight end. But see, like, I love the people that are looking at that Georgia tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he had that one-handed catch, everyone's like, "Oh my god, look at this guy!"
Dude, like, Bowers had better stats than him all year long.
Yeah, like relax, dude. Like, stop looking at this one thing that this guy did in the combine and saying, "Oh, he'll be a first rounder." It's like, yeah, you go ahead and think that way.
Yeah,
stupid.
Right.
You got to look at the bulk of the work that they put in.
Yeah, Michael Mayer broke every single tight end receiving record at Notre Dame, and if you look statistically, Notre Dame's exactly
guy from Elder, a guy from Elder
went there. Got Kyle Rudolph.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, Tyler Eifert went there too.
Yep.
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just in the last 10, 15 years.
And that's
Right.
why I do agree with you on the tight end pick for him. And like if that's something something that we might want to invest in fucking early pick
Early.
for. So
Yeah.
that or running back if we're doing that. Also, I know DB's up there. A lot of fans who are stupider are saying O-line, but we need to get O-line in for free.
We don't
You
draft
can get O
We don't
line
draft O-line
in the middle of the draft. Yeah, you can get O line in the middle or
And the thing is,
4th or 5th round.
everyone's saying, "Oh, we got to draft a guy to replace this guy. We got to draft a guy to replace this guy." The two guys that you're trying to replace were drafted by the Bengals. We don't draft offensive line well. It is time to we draft skill players and the defense extremely well.
Right.
Always
Yeah, we do.
have.
Yeah.
It's offensive line that always
Get some
gives us
offensive
trouble.
line in the free
buy it.
agency.
And
Get
go buy
proven
it.
NFL guys.
I was watching. I can't remember his name, but he does Bengals talk something or another, and he's got a podcast, like a weekly podcast.
James
he does.
Rapine.
I was
And
gonna say
talk-
Rapine.
Is it,
James Rapine.
Maybe it is. Fucking. Either way, I watched a video that he was talking about, and he said one thing that the Bengals always do well, and fucking that we need to look out for in the draft is draft good guys or draft good players. Don't draft the position that we need. Draft guys that are going to work
best
well.
Available.
Yes.
Best available player.
Yeah.
I always say the one team that does that more than anybody is the Giants. Like the year that they drafted Saquon Barkley, they needed so much help. Like everyone was like, "Oh," like there was a bunch of Giants fans freaking out. Like we need offense help, we need defense help, and we draft a running back. It's like, dude, this guy's like the closest thing to Bo Jackson we've seen since Bo Jackson.
Look at the Bengals when they drafted Chase instead of Sewell.
Yeah. No, you take.
We needed an
best
offensive
available
line,
player.
and we were like, I mean, I'm sure there was other factors that went into
Joe,
that,
yeah.
considering Joe played with them. But listen to us, we say Joe like we know the guy. Like
Oh,
Joe,
it's my friend Joe.
yeah, it's my friend, my buddy Joe. You know him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
like
about 40 minutes from here.
dude, look how that happened. Look what happened with that. Yeah.
Right. So let's move on from the Bengals a little bit. We're starting to get up to the 40-minute mark. Do you want to talk about the Wildcats March Madness a little bit there, Wallet?
Yeah, I want to say one thing about Kentucky basketball fans. Okay, it pisses me off when Kentucky is not doing well, losing, and they're complaining about Coach Cal and how he should be on the hot seat, and then looking at other coaching options of who should replace him, and then when they go on a 4-game win streak, they're back just on his ass. Okay, saying, "Oh, I love this guy," they're on his dick again. Whatever you want to say. All right, "Oh, I love this guy again." A great coaching game by Coach Cal, all this other stuff. I'm like, dude. Who are you going to find that's going to be able to do as much as what he's done in the last 13, 14 years as he's been a coach at Kentucky?
Yeah.
No
with,
one.
With,
Shut up,
with
Kentucky fans, and just allow him to do his job. That's why you're over here talking about it, and he's on the fucking court coaching.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's not always just the coach. It's also the players, too. Okay? There's a lot of these players that aren't putting in, I think, as much effort as what they should be. Maybe, yes. There's some things that he could have done differently, but that doesn't mean you should change the entire coaching staff because you're not happy with how things are with what's happening. So shut up.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of
all
the
I
fans,
have to
a lot of the fans, fucking just ruin shit for everybody. Fucking calling for people's heads and stuff like that. When you just don't know the sport and you don't know well enough to fucking.
It's based on they do that based on emotion and not business, and that's their problem.
And let's look at. What?
I'm not a Kentucky fan. Like I'm a UC fan, but people that hate on Coach K, just be careful what you wish for because
Coach Cal.
UC's coach probably is about to go win a national championship this year. So just maybe pump the brakes on the hate because he might
say
just
UC's coach is going to go win a national championship.
Cronin's going to win UCLA.
Oh, UC's previous coach, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just be careful what you wish for because
that's what I'm saying, man. These people just they think based upon emotion, especially since they would owe Cal $44 million if they were to fire him.
Well, that's the thing with
you guys stupid.
That's the thing.
Look at Duke right now.
That's the thing with Cal too. The way that everything is looking in NCAA basketball this year, like there's no standouts. There's fucking it's complete. No. It's in complete fucking shambles. Who do you bring in? There really is no answer. And when you're talking about like Cronin, fucking went from UC to UCLA, and you're talking about him winning a national championship. No one ever thought that fucking Cronin was going to do the things that he did at UCLA. So it's just like so up in the air. It's just fucking finding those things.
Be careful what you wish for. Exactly. You're right, Stolzy. Be careful what you wish for. And what we've had, especially considering what he's done for that program, bringing it back to the gold standard and the prominence of what it once had. Shut up, people. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Go Cats.
Yeah. Go Cats. Fucking college basketball about ready to get into that time of year that we're all fucking love to see. I mean, regardless of if I've watched any college basketball, March Madness is something where I've got 4 TVs set up and I'm watching each game.
For sure.
Weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be paying attention to that. We're definitely going to get some coverage with that going on. The SEC tournaments and stuff, ACC, all those fucking Big Five are getting ready to get started. So you might see those this coming Monday. But I think that we've said all that we need to do. Or all that we need to say. The only thing that I have left to say, I got one more comment. Fucking John Jones. Bah! This has been episode 8 of Your House on Sports
Yeah, that's
Podcast. Peace!
See ya.